shows how one will win. Don't miss.
It has been more than 2 weeks now, and the Obamacare website that was supposed to change the face of health insurance has instead continued to faceplant, losing almost 90% of its traffic since the October 1st launch. Can you imagine if a business lost 90% of its traffic? A new study estimates that healthcare.gov, now infamous for its glitches and lengthy delays, registered just 36,000 people in its first week of operation. That is less than 1% of the 9.4 million people who visited the site. We're always trying to help here on Money. So joining us now with a masterclass on how to fix this problem is former White House Chief Information Officer Teresa Payton. Teresa, let's jump right in. Your number one tip: engage an outside panel of experts to help determine which fire needs to be put out first. The only problem with this is that it reminds me of the Business Roundtable that, you know, the president brought in and then he didn't let them do anything. What should these folks do? What would you have them do, and where would you get them?
Well, first of all, America is so fortunate. We have some of the best internet innovators in the world. Think about companies like Disney, Amazon, FedEx, and these companies can give us some advice. The first thing I would do, I would actually hand them the production report that talks about the system errors, the difficulties people are having navigating online, and I'd ask this outside trusted group of advisors for their advice. I mean, think about it. They've made mistakes along the way, and they've lived to tell the tale.
No, and it's shocking that they're not doing that already because, you know, Democrats in Washington are so close to so many people in Silicon Valley. I can't believe they haven't done that already. It makes a lot of sense. You also say post-peak traffic times to avoid on the website. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell by now when the peak times are, as well as when you're doing maintenance, and just put it right there on the homepage. For your best customer experience possible, stay away from these times, and people will do that, and that'll help sort of take away some of that frustration.
I loved your third tip. It's so smart. Create status tracking form on the website, like you do with FedEx. I mean, even Domino's Pizza does that now. When you order a pizza, they have a tracker that tells you where your order is so you can follow along as it's going. FedEx, obviously a lot more sophisticated over a longer period of time, but this is a genius idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what's going on right now, Americans are very anxious. They know they have a deadline they have to hit. And so they're wondering, did it take my application? They're filling out more than one. They're calling the call center. All of this creates traffic and another load on the system we don't need. So if we create this very easy, here's your unique tracking number, check your own status, it'll really head off a lot of the problems. Yeah,
and a lot of frustration. It will make people feel like they know what's going on. They have some sort of agency. I love that one. Number 4 as well, you say separate the research process from the shopping experience. Does that mean you would have 2 different websites, or how would you do that exactly?
You know, the experience would still feel like you're going to one website. But if you think about, again, you know, I go back to Amazon, I go back to, you know, any shopping site, even looking for a loan. You can shop all you want, and nobody asks you for account information. And why do they do that? There's really 2 reasons behind that. The first is making a very simplistic customer experience. Simplicity is king when it comes to the internet. So let people shop, and when they're ready to buy, send them over to the buy side. The other piece is load balancing. Think about it. You don't want to have all of the people who are ready to purchase inputting all of the same information at the same time as people who are just browsing right now. Yeah. So those 2 things can be accomplished by just separating out the shopping experience from actually inputting all of your personal data.
No, so logical. I'm shocked that's not going on right now. Your last one, you say only access healthcare options through secure sources. Why is that important?
Well, we've seen, if you think about the big internet household names that you use and love today, whether it's Amazon, FedEx, any of those sites, even your banks, cyber criminals use emails with links and ads to trick you into going places you shouldn't go and giving up your personal information. So as it relates to your health care, only go from trusted sources. We don't want to see people clicking on ads or clicking on links. Start at hhs.gov or whitehouse.gov if you're not sure what your local exchange is, and that's a great way to beat out the fraudsters.
Do you think that the reputation of the website at this point is salvageable, or is it just, I mean, it has become literally a joke on so many different shows? I mean, even, you know, left-wing comedy shows are doing so many jokes about the website. Is there anything they could do to salvage the reputation at this point?
You know, I think it's tough. At this point, what they really need is a very aggressive get well plan. And I think if they announced they were bringing in some trusted experts from big household names, you know, some of these American internet innovators to help them come in and improve the customer experience, I think you might be able to win people back.
Yeah, put a new face on it. Say, we're bringing Google in. They're going to turn the whole thing around. Or, you know, we're bringing Jeff Bezos in. That makes a lot of sense. Teresa, I hope they were listening and watching. You know what? We'll send the White House the link to the segment. Sure, they'll do all those things right away. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Good ideas.
Thank you.
Next on Money, Iran seemingly backing down off its nuclear position, offering new concessions to get U.S.-led sanctions lifted. How do we know if this is a ruse, though? A top Mideast expert is here to respond. Plus, is your career 6 feet under? There are 5 critical tips to bring it back from the dead. And one of the top employment gurus around is here to fill us in. They are great ideas. I've seen them. I love them. Do you ever have too much money? We'll be right back.